Have you ever wondered how one man's ideas could ignite a revolution of thought and change the course of history? Enter Voltaire, a beacon of enlightenment. The Enlightenment, an intellectual and philosophical movement that swept through Europe in the 18th century, was a time that championed reason, tolerance, and the rejection of authoritarianism. It was a period that sought to illuminate the human mind and spirit through the power of knowledge, transforming the way we perceive our world and ourselves. In the heart of this era, there emerged an individual who would become a towering figure of the Enlightenment. His name was François-Marie Arouet, but he is better known to us today as Voltaire. Born in the bustling city of Paris in the late 17th century, Voltaire was destined to become one of the most influential thinkers, writers, and philosophers of his time. With a pen mightier than any sword, Voltaire created literary masterpieces that shook the foundations of traditional beliefs. His literary prowess was evident in his diverse body of work, which spanned various genres, from plays and poetry to historical works and philosophical treatises. Voltaire was a true master of words, and his sharp wit and satirical writing style were both admired and feared by the political and religious authorities of his time. He was a voice of reason in an age of absolutism, using his pen to criticize injustice, religious intolerance, and abuses of power. His writings, imbued with his signature blend of wit and wisdom, were more than mere literary works. They were powerful tools of social commentary and critique. Among his numerous works, Voltaire's masterpiece, Candide, stands out. This satirical novella is a sharp critique of the prevailing optimism of the time. Candide, the hapless protagonist, is tossed by fate into a series of absurd and horrific adventures. Through these misadventures, Voltaire exposes the harsh realities of the world, painting a picture far removed from the idyllic vision espoused by the optimists of his era. In Candide, Voltaire didn't shy away from exploring the darkest corners of human existence. He used his satirical lens to highlight the hypocrisy, corruption, and cruelty that often lurked beneath the veneer of civilized society. His biting satire left no sacred cows untouched, challenging everything from religious dogma to social inequality. But Candide was more than just a critique. It was also a call to action, urging readers to question accepted truths and to seek out knowledge for themselves. Voltaire's Candide was not a passive victim of circumstance. He was a seeker, a questioner, a man driven by the desire to understand the world around him. Through Candide, Voltaire exposed the harsh realities of the world, questioning the notion that all is for the best in the best of all possible worlds. He reminded us that the world is not a preordained paradise, but a place that we, through our actions and our choices, have the power to shape and change. Voltaire was not just a man of words. His ideas sparked change, ignited debates, and influenced the world in ways that continue to resonate today. A fierce advocate for civil liberties and freedom of thought, he was unafraid to stand against the status quo, often putting him at odds with the powers that be. His outspoken views led to periods of exile, most notably in England. This experience turned out to be more enlightening than punitive. He rubbed shoulders with some of the greatest minds of the Enlightenment era, like John Locke and Isaac Newton. Their revolutionary ideas further fueled Voltaire's commitment to reason and individual rights, leading him to become a vocal critic of authoritarianism. A firm believer in freedom of expression, Voltaire was known to say, "I disapprove of what you say, but I will defend to the death your right to say it." A statement that encapsulates his unwavering commitment to uphold the sanctity of individual thought and speech. He championed the idea that disagreement is not only inevitable but also healthy in a society where diverse ideas coexist. While these convictions often invited disapproval and conflict, Voltaire remained undeterred. His dedication to these principles was unyielding. He believed in the power of reason, the importance of secularism, and the undeniable right of every individual to think freely. In a world that often favored conformity, Voltaire's daring to think differently and express his ideas openly was revolutionary. His influence extended beyond the borders of his own time, shaping the course of history and leaving an indelible mark on the world of philosophy, politics, and literature. Voltaire's commitment to championing reason, secularism, and individual rights was unwavering even in the face of adversity. His courage to voice unpopular opinions, his relentless pursuit of truth, and his unwavering belief in the power of ideas make him not just a figure of the Enlightenment, but a beacon of intellectual courage and the pursuit of knowledge. Voltaire's views on religion were as complex as the man himself, championing tolerance while criticizing organized religion. François-Marie Arouet, known to the world as Voltaire, was a vocal critic of organized religion. He scrutinized its dogmas, its institutions, and its abuses of power. He saw organized religion as a tool used by the powerful to control the masses, often leading to intolerance and violence. This view was fueled by the religious wars and persecutions that plagued Europe during his lifetime. Yet it would be a mistake to label Voltaire as an atheist. Despite his criticism of organized religion, he was a proponent of deism. Deism, a belief system that emerged during the Enlightenment, posits the existence of a supreme being who does not intervene in the world or its affairs. This supreme being, according to deists like Voltaire, could be known through reason and observation of the natural world, not through religious texts or revelations. In his philosophical dictionary, Voltaire wrote, "If a man were forced to choose between Christianity, as set forth by the Church, and deism, he would see that there is but one step between them, that the deistic cult is to adore God and be an honest man, and the Christian cult is to adore God and be an honest man, but at the same time to partake of the Lord's Supper once a year." This statement encapsulates Voltaire's view that morality and virtuous living were not exclusive to any one religion, but could be achieved through reason and the cultivation of one's character. Voltaire's views on religious tolerance are most evident in his work, Treatise on Tolerance. In this piece, he argued that religious intolerance was the root of much of the world's evil. He advocated for the separation of church and state, insisting that the state should not favor any one religion over another. Voltaire argued for the separation of church and state and the importance of respecting diverse beliefs, ideas that continue to shape our world today. Voltaire's views on religion and tolerance were groundbreaking for his time and continue to resonate in our modern discourse on religious freedom and pluralism. More than 2 centuries after his death, Voltaire's ideas continue to influence the world, testifying to his enduring legacy. This enigmatic Frenchman, with his pointed wit and audacious spirit, left an indelible mark on the Enlightenment, a period of profound intellectual awakening that forever changed our understanding of the world. At the heart of this era was a shift towards reason, a move away from blind faith and unexamined tradition. Voltaire, with his sharp intellect and sharper pen, was a driving force in this monumental transition. His writings, filled with biting satire and insightful commentary, questioned prevailing norms and provoked critical thought. He championed the power of reason, the importance of evidence, and the necessity for skepticism in the face of unproven claims. Beyond the borders of France, Voltaire's influence reached the shores of a fledgling nation, the United States of America. His ideas on individual liberty, freedom of thought, and religious tolerance found resonance with the framers of the United States Constitution. His philosophical ideas laid the groundwork for secularism, separating religion from the affairs of the state, a concept that remains a cornerstone of many modern democracies. Voltaire's literary prowess was as remarkable as his philosophical thought. His masterpiece, Candide, is a testament to his storytelling genius. This satirical novella, brimming with humor and social critique, continues to captivate readers, offering a timeless exploration of optimism, reality, and the human condition. But perhaps the most enduring aspect of Voltaire's legacy is his unwavering commitment to freedom of thought and expression. His famous declaration, "I disapprove of what you say, but I will defend to the death your right to say it," encapsulates his belief in the sanctity of free speech, a value that remains integral to our societies today. Voltaire remains a symbol of intellectual courage and the pursuit of knowledge, a central figure in the cultural and philosophical development of the Western world. His ideas continue to inspire, his words continue to provoke, and his legacy continues to shape the world more than 2 centuries after his passing.